everyone. Welcome back to the Sonder Cast, where we dive into the stories behind the people and the emotions behind the words. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Adam. Thanks so much for joining us again. Today, we're going to explore a very personal and meaningful topic, a time you felt proud of yourself.
Oof, this one gets me right in the heart already. It's funny how moments of pride can be both joyful and emotional, right?
Absolutely. And I think we all carry stories that shaped our self-esteem. Stories where we surprised ourselves, where we did something brave or meaningful.
Or maybe just something we thought we couldn't do. And suddenly we did.
Exactly. So, to all our English learners out there, this is a great episode for learning emotional vocabulary, storytelling expressions, and how to share your experiences in a rich, personal way. All right, Kayla, I want to hear your story first. Tell us about a time when you truly felt proud of yourself.
Okay. This one goes back to when I was 17. I auditioned for my high school's musical, Les Miserables of all things. I was terrified. I loved singing, but I never believed I was good enough. Like, my self-confidence was buried under layers of doubt.
Wow, Les Mis? That's not just any musical. That's a full emotional marathon.
Tell me about it. But here's the thing, for weeks I rehearsed in secret. I didn't even tell my best friend. I'd go into the music room after school when no one was there and sing over and over again. It was this really private battle between fear and hope.
That's such a powerful image. Practicing in silence. It feels intimate.
Yeah, it was. And when the day of the audition came, I remember my hands were shaking. My voice cracked at the start, and I thought, okay, it's over. I blew it. But something inside me just whispered, keep going. And I did. I hit the high note, and I swear I felt this strange warmth in my chest. Like, I was rooting for myself.
That gave me goosebumps.
When the list came out, I got a lead role. Not the biggest, but big enough to make me cry in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Happy tears. It was the first time I felt proud not just of what I had done, but of who I was becoming.
That's beautiful. You know, you use some really emotional phrases there. A private battle. Rooting for myself, happy tears. Listeners, those are great expressions to use when you want to describe emotional depth in storytelling.
Okay, Adam, your turn. Tell me a time you felt proud of yourself. And don't hold back.
Haha, all right. So mine is less about performance and more about resilience. A few years ago, I went on a solo hiking trip in the Swiss Alps. I had just gone through a really difficult breakup, and emotionally, I was kind of shattered.
Oof. I can feel the weight of that already.
Yeah, I didn't go hiking to escape, exactly. I went because I needed to feel small, in a good way. Like, to be surrounded by something bigger than me. The mountains offered that. Anyway, on the third day, I found myself completely alone, hiking through fog. I was physically exhausted. Every muscle in my body was screaming.
That sounds scary.
It was in some moments. But here's what changed me. I had written a letter to myself before the trip. A really honest, vulnerable letter. I kept it in my backpack, and when I reached the peak of one of the mountains, breathless, sore, sweaty, I pulled it out and read it.
Oh my gosh. That's so poetic. What did the letter say?
It said, "You are enough, even when you feel broken." And when I read those words out loud, on top of the world, literally, I broke down. But it wasn't sadness. It was release. Relief. I had carried that emotional weight so far. And in that moment, I felt pride, not for climbing the mountain, but for having the emotional strength to face my grief head on.
Wow. I have chills. That's a very different kind of pride. Quiet, internal one.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't loud. It was gentle, but it was mine.
Listeners, pay attention to the emotional vocabulary here. Release, relief, internal strength, grief. These words carry so much meaning when you're talking about personal growth.
So, what I'm realizing is that pride isn't always about success in the way we think of it. It's not medals or trophies.
It's about facing something hard and choosing to show up anyway.
And sometimes it's the little victories, the private moments that no one sees but you.
Yes, like getting out of bed when you're depressed, or speaking up in a room full of people when your voice feels small.
Or saying, I forgive myself.
Exactly. And for our listeners learning English, remember, when you tell your own stories, don't just focus on what happened. Talk about how it felt. That's where the heart of the story lives.
Try using phrases like, I was overwhelmed with emotion. I didn't think I could do it. Something inside me shifted. It was a turning point.
Oh, I love that one, turning point. We all have them.
So, Kayla, how would you sum up what pride means to you now?
I think pride is the moment when your inner voice finally says, hey, look at you. You did that. I'm proud of us.
Beautifully said. And I think for me, pride is less about achievement and more about alignment, when your actions reflect who you want to be.
To everyone listening, we hope today's episode helps you reflect on your own story. Think about your proud moments. They matter. You matter.
And if you're learning English, try writing your story down. Use those emotional words. Practice saying them out loud. Share them with us if you'd like.
We'd love to hear from you. You can message us on Instagram at Sonder Cast or send us a voice message on our website.
Thank you for being here with us. And remember,
Every story matters, especially yours.